Hi there, welcome to Tuesday Talk. Can't believe how fast Tuesdays roll around. So tonight I'm going to do some upcycled Christmas. I'm going to move this down a little because of the reflection in my glasses. I guess we're going to get it either way. But I'm just painting. I'm painting a book, and I have two others that I already started. So I'm just going to put the screen down, and if you're just joining in, just feel free to pop on and say hi. And I have two projects for you tonight, but I want to finish painting this one so it can dry before I show you the next one. So I'll just put the screen down here and show you what I'm doing is I'm painting an old book. I think these were old library books. I did not take them. They were given to me. But see how easily this covers this in one coat. This is Sawmill Gravy, and I'm just covering up this green book. You know, the book might have been pretty as it was, but the look I'm going for is just a little stack of books, and we're just painting these old books up. Because I had to write on the spines of them, so I needed to paint them. But you can still see some of the details on them, which is pretty cool. I've done this before and added molds to them as well. But today we're just painting them. So there's that. Put the screen back up. So I have two more of these already done. And I'm going to set that aside. And put my lid on my paint, and I have some wipes over here. I'm just going to wrap my brush up so that it doesn't dry up. So I'm already thinking on next week, because I think about what I'm going to do for Tuesday Talk all the time. So what I'm thinking next week is we're going to do some more pouring. I'm going to get a big thing, brand new big thing of the amazing casting resin, and we're going to make some coasters and a tray, and I'm going to try to put handles in the tray. So some experimenting, and hopefully we'll have a good pour. Okay, so another project that I am excited about tonight is this one. I'll show you a simulation on my tablet first. This is I saw it on Pinterest, so we're kind of going to copy a Pinterest idea, but it's just this little Christmas tree we're going to paint on some wood. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But their wood is irregular, so I'm going to turn this around this way so you can see my. Oops. No, I set those down on the wet books. But this I just put together today. Now my friend Susan, I think I told you about last week that she has given me some of her best junk. She asked me out to her place, and she was going through things, and she'd say, "Do you want these? Do you want these?" So yeah, there were a ton of these, and I guess they were cut-offs from a project they were doing, and they, so they're all the same length, but I put them together kind of wonky. And then I just happened to have this, which is a shelf bracket, which I don't use any longer. And I did use wood glue in the seams, and I used a clamp to hold it tight. And then when the glue was dry, I just wanted something behind it. So this happened to be just perfect for it. So I'll probably do another one of these, but I just got one ready for us tonight. So this is kind of a natural wood, and it just happens to have some green tones in it. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but we're going to go with it. The one that my inspiration picture, they have whitewashed the wood, and I suppose I could do that, but I kind of liked the natural. Actually, this one is whitewashed, so maybe I'll go ahead and do that. What the heck? I have a brush here. It's kind of like I'm saying whitewashed, but it's more like dry brushed. So I'm just going to take the brush that I used with on the books, and I'll dry brush on here. This, I should have brought an easel, but I'm just resting it on a chair. I may have to open that paint back up to get a little more paint, but I'm just going for a light effect here. I love on this rough wood how it takes the paint when you're doing a dry brush. I actually like that, so I didn't think I wanted that, but I do kind of like it. So I'm just going to open my paint up again. Again, I'm using Sawmill Gravy, one of my favorite. I brought home fluff, but then I saw that I had this, and I thought I'm going to work on this a little bit. So when you do a dry brush, you just put very, very little paint on the brush, and you go with a really light hand over what you want to paint. I like that green area there, so I'm not going to go too heavily over that. Get a little bit more paint on here and finish the bottom. You can't see the very bottom here, but it also has a really cool design. A little green on there. And because I'm trying to paint my dining room chairs as well. It's a good thing I have a baby wipe here. Get a little bit, wipe up my mess. You never know what you're going to get when it's live, right? Okay, so that's all I'm going to do there. But I am going to wrap this up in my wipe to keep the brush wet until I get a chance to wash it out. Sometimes I bring a plastic bag, sometimes I'll do this. Okay. So I just have a couple different brushes here, and I think I'm going to use this one, which is a flat artist brush, to do the trunk of the tree. So I'm going to start it about here and end it at the bottom. So I'm going to put this down a little bit so you can see. I'll start from the bottom because I was always taught if you're painting a flower or a tree that you should start at the bottom because that's how it would grow. So this is a very forgiving, rough kind of, I'll say primitive kind of craft. So, and also it's going to get lots of branches put on it. So this does not have to be perfect. We're going to be painting over it. I just kind of wanted to be there and be solid. So I just went up to about that far. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for that. Now I will probably refer to this picture frequently just because this is not something I paint every day. And I think I've shared with you before that I'm kind of getting more and more comfortable all the time just going right for the brush. I used to sketch everything and then paint over it, but I feel like I'm just going to go for it. You know what? Before I put that brown away, I'm also going to sketch out a few branches with the paint. So this color is Coffee Bean, Dixie Belle, of course. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a few branches. Just make them kind of go down. Put this down a little. And again, I'm just kind of looking because this is not something I'm used to doing. This is just going to give me a little something to go by. With anything else, I start out kind of slow and then just kind of get into a rhythm. Where you stop looking at the picture and then just kind of go with it. Okay, so right now it sort of looks like a boned fish or something. Okay. You know what? I think I do have a plastic bag here. So I'll put my brushes that I'm done using in the plastic bag. Famous trick. Lots of times I will put my brushes in a baggie, and then when I'm done painting, I'll just put water in it and then put some Dawn dish detergent in it, seal the baggie back up, and then when I'm ready to wash it, I'll switch it around and get a brush and brush out some of the out of the bristles, and it's clean. So clean enough for me anyway. Okay, so I'm using some evergreen. I figured that was a perfect color to make branches with. And again, I'm going to take a look at the picture. So there, I guess fronds you would call it, or leaves of the trees, are just kind of spiky and just kind of sort of long. So I'm just going to kind of go with it. I'm going to use this brush. It's just a chip brush, and it's a skinny one. Actually, I was going to save that one for the snow. I'm going to use another. This is a premium chip brush from Dixie Belle. These are nice chip brushes because the bristles don't come out. Because actually, this way I can do some longer branches, longer leaves, or whatever you call them. And I'm just going to go ahead and start with that. Now, this is actually kind of cool because I don't know whether you can see that or not, but it's actually the way the brush is kind of splayed out. It's actually creating those needles. So this is kind of a bonus. So real full in here. Just kind of making these go off of those branches. It seems like every pine branch has like the needles go off of the tip. And again, no one's going to judge it, I don't think, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Then I can do whatever I want to with this tree. I can put ornaments on it. I can put snow on it. This is actually kind of fun, very relaxing. Gonna keep moving it up. Feel free to tell me what you think of this project. It's kind of rustic and kind of farmhouse. Just added a little bit more in there. Of course, my nose gets itchy when I have a brush in my hand. So I hope you're all doing well this evening. Staying well. Like I said, feel free to say hi. Let me do all the talking. Okay, what do you think so far? Think it's looking like a pine tree? A skinny pine tree? Like I said, I couldn't have asked for a more happy accident with these bristles here with this. I think it's just working out just perfect. I could put a star on the top of the tree. Okay, once again, I'm going to look at my inspiration. Theirs goes up into a real point up at the top. And I could use, oh, that was my sawmill gravy. I could use the coffee bean again and just go up here and make this kind of a little bit more of a point and add a few more needles to it, I should say, because they're not leaves, they're needles. Just kind of make it come down off that point. Now I feel like I need to go back up there because I feel like I need to get some up on this top just so it didn't look like it was intentionally starting at that line. Okay, I am just going to go back in down at the bottom here, just where I see lots of branches, and just kind of fill in a little. Just don't want it to be just kind of naked on the inside, but I don't also want it so full that you don't see the trunk of the tree. Because after all, it is sort of a skinny pine tree. So. Okay, that's kind of enough for me. And I have enough paint on here that it's gathering in these little seams. Try to spread that out a little bit. Okay. These little fruit flies love paint. At least they love Dixie Belle paint. At least they have good taste. They're annoying, but they have good taste, right? Okay. Now I'm going to get a baby wipe here. I think. Where are they? Here. Okay. And I'm just going to show you a quick review. So we're not done with that. I just want that to dry a little bit so that I want to put some snow on it. I'm not 100% sure if I want to do little ornaments or not. I'm not even sure if I have any red here to do red ornaments. If I do, I might consider it. Okay. Checking my books here, and they are pretty dry, somewhat dry. So here's one book. Still a little bit wet. And I'm actually going to use the paper towel and dab it a little bit. So we're going to make a stack of books. Okay. So I have one. And then another one. So it's okay if we stack these together, and they might actually stick together a little bit, but that's okay. We're just doing it for decor. I'm just going to set it up on top of here so you see what we're doing. And this last one, I'm really pushing the envelope a little bit because I just painted it, but I'm really mainly concerned about the spine because the rest of it can kind of dry. So 3 books stacked together here. And usually I use stamps or, stencils or other ways of writing on things. But this time I just have a Sharpie marker. And if I didn't learn anything from doing my big sign, it's a little bit of lettering. So I'm going to write the words peace, joy, and love on the books. And I'll try to do this so that you can see what I'm doing. And the main thing I think is that's important is when you're doing this lettering, you can be kind of fancy, but it's the down strokes of your letters that get the bold or like you thicken the line. So I'm going to wipe these off a little bit more so I have a dry surface to start with. Okay, so we'll do this, and I hope I'm able to do it this way to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so peace, joy, and love. So this is about the center, so I just want to kind of, so A is the middle letter of peace. Let's see, so the A would go about here. So I'll start over here. And it isn't real dry, so it's not going on real good, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work. I think I'm gonna try this because it's gonna be easier for me. And then I'll show you what I did. And then I'll show you what I'm gonna do to further embellish it. Peace, joy, love. Okay, this bottom book is really wet. Okay, so I'm gonna wait a minute on that. There's no point in rushing it. So you can see that. So just wrote on there, but now I'm gonna take the marker and do a little. Now this is one of those retractable. It's a fine point Sharpie, but it's still good for something like this. So on here, I think you can. I hope you can see that. I can't tell, but the down strokes. So the down on the P, and then over here, and then the back of the E. Anywhere it goes down, we're going to broaden that letter a little bit. Now, just so I can see what I'm doing, I'm going to take it over here, but I'll show you immediately what I'm doing. So I just took, we're looking at the P, and just took the areas that are going down, the downstrokes of the letters, and thickening them. And I'm doing it on both sides of the E, but only on the downstroke. Okay? Same thing with the A. And you can sort of connect them. I'm going to do it with the C here. And again on the E. And I kind of like the way this looks because it has sort of a faded look. And I kind of, also you'll see, I'm kind of embellishing a little bit. So I did the downstrokes, and then I also took the tails. I also connected the letters. So you can start with just making a little bit of italicized printing and then turn it into a script. And then when this really dries, I'll probably go back over it and add a little bit more to it, just so it looks good. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with joy. And I'm keeping them together here just because they're going to stick together. I'm going to paint on my hands. Okay, so again, I'm taking just the down strokes on the letters. and making them thicker. Then I'm going to connect the letters and embellish the little curly cues, the tails, a little bit more. Okay, so there's peace and joy. And let's see. I'll try love. Okay. Not real dry, but we'll give it a whirl. Okay, I see I'm going to have to come back and do that later. Ever notice I can't stop? Like I say I'm going to come back and do it later, and then I keep doing it. I've sort of embossed the letters in there, if you can see it. So I'll come back really for sure when it's dry and put more on it. It's not taking a long time to dry. Okay, so let's set those aside a minute, and then let's come back to the tree. I'll put this up a second. And I just want to add some snow on the branches. I'd rather have it on my fake wood tree than for real. This one doesn't have snow. Again, that's my inspiration. But there's other ones of these. Sometimes when you try to enlarge it, and then you get a bunch of different ones come up. And here's one. So here's one that has snow on the branches. And then, so I'm going to be looking at that one as inspiration, but it's pretty simple. And then here's another one that has ornaments. And now these are cool too. They've added a birch tree. Whoops. Okay, I'm trying to get that to show up. They've added a birch tree to it and a cardinal, which is really pretty. The birch tree is really super easy to do. So maybe we'll do that on one another time. But really with that, you can use masking tape and just put it, like make 2 lines, then paint it white in between, and then add those black lines and some shading in it. And it's really pretty simple to simulate a birch tree. Then if you wanted, if you didn't feel confident in painting the cardinal, you could use a transfer or something like that to add to it. Same way with the ornaments, you could do that. You could use a stencil, make a round stencil or something, and then just put a little highlight in them. So you don't have to do everything from scratch or by hand. So you can add to it that way and make it a little more interesting. So I could use fluff, but I think I'm going to stick with this. Yeah, I think I am going to use fluff because it's a little whiter than the sawmill gravy. So this is Dixie Belle fluff. And now I'm going to use this little 1-inch chip brush. So I'm going to get a good bit of paint on there. And I'm just going to come in here and make it snow on my tree. Like I said, I don't want to see the real stuff, so I'll be okay with this. And I'm just going to pull up the inspiration again just to, they're all different, but I just kind of like a little reassurance that I'm putting the proper amount of snow on my tree. So this one, they just kind of put it all over the place. So I'm going to go for it. Like I said, sometimes I start and then it just kind of goes naturally. I love the way these little needles came out. Okay. I'm glad I picked the fluff, being a little bit whiter, brighter white. Just trying to be random with the snow. I really would love to see a little pop of red in here, whether it be a cardinal or some ornaments. I think it would really add to it. Just down a little bit lower. So again, tonight we're talking about upcycled ornament or Christmas decor. So these pallet boards, I don't know whether they were actually pallet boards or what kind of wood it was, but my friend gave me these pieces of wood that she was just gonna burn or put out, asked me if I wanted them, and of course I said yes. And then I saw these little things on Pinterest and I thought this would be really cute. So that's it. It's funny how when I look at it, I see one thing, and then when I look at it on the screen, I see this area and here needs a little bit. So we're giving it a little. Um, that's a good tip when you're painting. If you are, especially like if you're doing something on a canvas or um, an artistry piece, and if you just turn away from it and then take a picture, and that'll give you a whole different perspective, and you'll be able to look at it objectively and see what other people see. You see it for the first time. Okay. Okay, let's bring the books back over. And let's see. Okay, it's getting drier. Let's see if we can embellish love a little bit more. I'm going to put it down here and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Definitely a little drier. So what we're doing, I had just kind of written it in, but we're working on the downstroke. Just making the downstroke of every letter a little bit more intense, a little thicker. Okay, it's still not completely dry. Okay, it'd be great if this paint would dry, but you can see we're getting there. So every time I come back, it'll make a better impression. But so what I'm going to do with these then is these will get tied together, and I just happen to have some ribbon here. And farmhouse is really big right now, so I think we're going to see a lot of check in the decor and Christmas decor. This is like a burlap check. You can see black and white, but we're just going to tie these books together. I'll put this down a little so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I just made a bow. And then what we can do, pardon my arm, is just we can take an ornament. This is what I did last week or the week before, I don't remember. But we can just add something like that to it, or we can add some greenery to it. As usual, I will go ahead and finish these and post them on my social media. But that's really a popular thing. Another thing you can do is take some molds and use the molds on the spines of the book and write on them there. So I just kind of like this just because it was in the red. But I definitely want to add something, because this is something you could leave out all year round: peace, joy, and love. I think the red does make it a little Christmassy, and it seems like kind of a Christmas sentiment. Sentiment, yes. But I would definitely add something up here for Christmas. You could remove it later, but some greenery, a little pine or something like that will definitely make it look Christmassy. Maybe a smaller ornament. Well, I guess I'm not getting any smaller, but these are the ornaments that I did last week with the hot glue. Never painted the other side. See, I always say I'm going to finish it. Sometimes I don't. And then this was the other one. And then this was from the week before, and this was with modeling material. And then this is the one that I did with the 2-part epoxy, or the amazing casting resin. But you can just see adding green, I guess you can't see right now, but adding green with this red text, all of a sudden it's Christmas. Now this, again, you can change this ribbon out. You can make it holiday ribbon. You can do whatever you want, because these books are so popular now. You can do these for any holiday, and you can use stencils or however you want if you don't feel confident writing on them. So, we've only been on a little over a half hour tonight, but I want the snow to dry on this, and maybe at some point I might decide that I want to add a little pop of red, either for ornaments. Sometimes maybe just like one ornament makes a statement, or a bird or a star or something. So I'm going to think on that, and I will let you know, and I'll definitely show you the outcome of my primitive tree. But I'll give you a complete look as much as I can from top to bottom of my tree. Doesn't have to be perfect for people to get the idea. And our stack of books. So I really appreciate you joining me tonight, even though it was an abbreviated version tonight. Sometimes we go on over an hour, but sometimes this is enough. But I definitely look forward to this on Tuesdays. So our big grand reopening is over, and it was a great success. And we did have the contest for the screws and the sign. And I think the lady's name was Shirley Smith. And there were 1,641 screws, and I screwed in all but maybe 10 of them. So yeah, so I'm kind of glad that's over with and it's up and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'll be posting. I did post today, but I'll be contacting those people. She won over $100 in Dixie Belle paint and redesign with Prima. So I want to thank you again for joining, and stay tuned. Saturday, we'll be back to painting some furniture. And I want to show you real quick what we're going to try to mold next week. Get some modeling material. I have a chess set. I think that'll be cool. I have this big tray, and I want to get handles for it and put those in the modeling material. And then I also have these coasters, and these are those big geode coasters that everybody's doing. So that, and I also have just some round ones, but I think that I want to do the geode ones since this is such an irregular shape. So I think that'll be a cool project. So I hope you join me, and I will talk to you soon. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to La Vintage Decor on YouTube. And also check out NJ On Air. Just go to www.njonair.com. You'll get a sample of what the show's like if you look on my last week's step-by-step, or just this last Saturday. I used one of those videos for that. And other than that, on Instagram, we are La Vintage Decor, and on Facebook, La Vintage Decor Altoona. So I appreciate you watching, and I hope you stay well, and see you soon. Okay, bye.